Well, I've had a rough night. Because I have trouble sleeping sometimes, I took some of this melatonin, 5 milligrams, and you're supposed to take like maybe 1 or 2. So my metabolism being what it is, I went ahead and knocked back like 10 of them because it's not really something you can easily overdose on, and it's really hard for me to overdose on anything at all. And it helped me sleep a little, but I woke up really fucking early. I only slept for 2 hours, and my brain feels like it's completely fucking fried. Moral of the story, I guess, is don't do drugs, kids. But since my brain's fried and I won't be able to do anything useful for a while, at least till I drink my coffee, having a nice breakfast. This is, by the way, what I eat for breakfast usually, if you're wondering what maintains my good health. I'm going to do another video toward the pesky dames. Here's another pesky dame.
Hey viewers, this week on Those Pesky Dames we're discussing prude shaming, which is pretty much the reverse of slut shaming. We're going to be talking a lot about sex and shaming and consent and a bit about rape, so I want to issue a trigger warning for this video. I'm going to show you a picture of my sign from the first London Slut Walk because it pretty much sums up the incredibly complex social narrative about women and sexuality that we ladies are supposed to be able to navigate. When we're talking about women and sex, it pretty much boils down to you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't.
That's actually pretty much everybody with every personal choice. Try to have a little bit of perspective. I mean, for instance, a guy could like lift weights and play sports, and then be looked at by the weak, frail intellectuals like he's some sort of buffoon, or he could be like one of those sensitive guys that you feminists like, never get laid, and have to like get picked on by the guys with muscle. I mean, they're pretty much any option you have is going to have lots of downsides in terms of how you're going to be as a person. So why don't you just calm down?
If you have sex or you like sex, then you're a dirty slut. And if you don't have sex or you don't enjoy or desire sex, then you're frigid or a prude. As you can see, both of these statements are utter shit. We've already done a week on slut shaming.
Now, I'm a big proponent of laziness because it's a great thing to live by. Now let's just look at the least energy intensive option here. If you are aware that both of these sentiments are utter shit, what is the least energy intensive option available to you? You could try to change the world, try to convince all the people who do this slut shaming and prude shaming to change their evil ways, or, this is the one that I would prefer, ignore it. You know it's shit. It takes practically zero energy to ignore it. Let the laziness flow through you.
And you can watch those videos here. So this week we're examining the second of those statements, which is prude shaming. In our society, we really put sex on a pedestal. Sex is meant to be, you know, the pinnacle of life, the ultimate enjoyment, something that we should all constantly be trying to get. Like, what? Sex can be a fun activity, yeah. The way skydiving can be a fun activity, and you can go through life having a ball and never go skydiving once.
You know, I am going to agree that sex is put on a pedestal quite a bit by society, but, you know, again, I basically ignore anything about society that I don't care for. I don't think of it like I'm obligated to do what society tells me or some shit. But I'm going to disagree with you. If you haven't been skydiving, man, you haven't lived. Skydiving is the shit. I went skydiving with my sister, and I enjoyed the free fall part, and she enjoyed the parachuting part. The parachuting part, you know, that's fairly prosaic. I like the free fall because, I don't know how to put this, like, everybody has this kinesthetic sense, and you always know which direction is down. Like, I guess your vestibulocochlear apparatus is always telling you this. So, it's like the world has a bottom and a top. No, it's not a gay thing. But when you jump out of the plane, it's like a world that used to have sides just suddenly becomes spherical, and you don't know from your vestibulocochlear apparatus which way is up and which way is down. I mean, you can obviously tell which way is down because the intense fucking wind is coming from that direction. But in terms of your sense of balance, all of a sudden you're adrift. It's pretty fucking amazing. I would recommend skydiving to anyone. Sex, yeah, you know, it's cool. It's all fine and dandy. I mean, honestly, you get a little bit tired of it when you get older. I'm sorry, what?
And the same applies to sex. This is also a really damaging message, because this message isn't about having enjoyable and consensual sex at a time that is right for both you and your partner. Pushing this message means that people can end up doing things that they don't want to do with people that they don't want to do it with.
Oh, and here I thought like people could, you know, make choices depending on what they do and don't want. Like they have a mind or some shit, but apparently they're just like programmable robots. And you give them the right message, you can get them to do anything. Learn something new every day.
This is really tied up with the idea that not having sex or not having had sex is embarrassing. A lot of people I know talk about not wanting to be virgins. Trust me, we'll get to the concept of virginity in a minute. Once they get to uni. And I think this is because once you get past your teens, being a virgin is seen to be like really uncool or like really embarrassing. And I think this is really tied up with fears that like partners in the future might laugh at you for being inexperienced. Let me tell you something right now, that having sex does not make you experienced.
Yeah, by definition it kind of does. It makes you experienced at sex. You have experienced sex, therefore you are experienced at sex. It's ipso facto. You can't even argue your case here. You're wrong. Look in the dictionary. You're just wrong.
Okay? Everyone likes different things sexually. Like, there is a vast, wonderful and beautiful array of things that people like to do in bed, and not everyone likes the same thing. Having sex with like X number of people does not make you magically understand what an individual person likes. So don't worry about being inexperienced. When you're faced with a new sexual partner, everybody is inexperienced. You know, you don't know how to please someone that you've never been with or discussed it with before.
I'm going to interject here that in my long life I've only had sex with 2 virgins. And that was enough. That shit is horrible. Now, I understand that everybody's a virgin at some point. But if a girl was a virgin and she offered to have sex with me, I'd be like, you know what? No thanks. You better save that for somebody who really cares about you. I mean, I'd say that, but what I'd be thinking is, I'm not going to go through that shit. It's not pleasurable. You know, fixing a hangnail is roughly the same amount of pleasure as having sex with a virgin. I'm just going to throw that out there.
So don't worry about that. Virginity, by the way, is a stupid heteronormative construct that people normally use to mean penetrative penis in vagina sex. So, like, oral sex doesn't count, like, handjobs don't count. It's only sex if it's between a penis and a vagina, apparently.
And you're using all this technical lingo. I don't know what you're talking about. Which one's the ding-a-ling and which one's the hoo-hoo?
But the most dangerous thing about prude shaming, and seriously, this is really dangerous, and you shouldn't underestimate, like, the potential for harm it has.
Okay, when you tell me not to underestimate the harm in that particular tone of voice, I don't want to sound like an asshole, but it makes me estimate the harm as being roughly 0.
Is the way that prude shaming undermines sex and is really closely linked to rape.
Gee, a feminist has managed to link whatever the fuck they were talking about to rape. I am shocked to my very goddamn core.
That sounds like confusing or weird or like a really big leap to you.
Sounds like emotionally manipulative bullshit to me, but I mean that's kind of par for the course with these sorts of conversations. Please proceed.
Let me illustrate this with a little and triggering story. You have a girlfriend. You've been going out with your girlfriend for like a couple of months now, but you've yet to have sex.
Already I have questions with this scenario. First, a man my age doesn't have girlfriends, he has lady friends. But let's forget about that, I'll just say girlfriends. No need to confuse the issue with more jargon. Alright. If you haven't had sex with her, in what sense is she really your girlfriend? I mean, isn't she really just your friend? I mean, isn't she just sort of like, at most, a romantic interest? I don't think you can really call somebody a girlfriend if you haven't had sex with her yet. And if you do, that's kind of pathetic. I mean, just in my humble opinion. But maybe I'm just out of touch with popular culture. In fact, I'm pretty sure that I am. But still, I'm going to stand by what I said. If you haven't had sex with her, she's not your girlfriend. You're stalking her.
and your friends know that you've yet to have sex, and you know they're taking the piss and teasing you, and you're getting really frustrated about the situation. And rather than tell your so-called buddies to fuck off, you decide...
Before we go on with that and whatever retarded shit you're going to say, alright, at this point I'd be like, you know, friends, you do raise a pretty interesting point. Here I am, calling her my girlfriend, and we haven't even done the boom shakalaka laka boom shakalaka laka boom shakalaka. Laka boom. Can I really call her my girlfriend? You know, I mean, now that you've raised this point, perhaps I should reevaluate my position on this matter. Like, maybe, just maybe, she's just not that into me. Perhaps I should keep my options open. I mean, I don't want to say that I'm in a monogamous relationship with this girl who's not having sex with me, because in doing so, I would cut off other avenues that might actually lead to sex. And that's not just, it's not a sharp maneuver. I'm sorry, I was rambling and I totally forgot how I even started this. I am so fucking tired. Oh, melatonin.
It's about time your girlfriend slept with you. I mean, you've been going out ages, right? And anyway, you bring this up with her and she tells you that she doesn't want to have sex. Maybe she tells you that she's not ready to have sex with you yet. Maybe she says sex is something she only wants to do when she's in love or when she's married. Or maybe she just tells you she just doesn't want to. So your feelings are hurt because you just got told that you're not as overpoweringly irresistible as you thought you were.
Well, you know, I suppose my feelings would be hurt, but, well, first I'm going to say, you know, I hate to admit it, but in my life I have kind of begged for sex. But not any time in the past, say, 3.5 decades. Because I learn. Now, what I would do at this point, I'd be like, well, you know, listen, I understand that, and I can respect that, but I just don't feel like this relationship is progressing at a reasonable speed. This is kind of a deal breaker, but you know what? We can be friends, right? I mean, we're practically just friends already. So, I mean, yeah, you know, we can stay in each other's lives, and I will find me a girlfriend, you know, one that's a little more suited to my needs. You know, of course I probably wouldn't actually talk to her again because women react to maturity very badly. But point being, that is the mature thing to do. And, oh, I mean, if you do that, that's a cool 85% of the time that girl's probably going to have sex with you within like a week. And the other 15% of the time you'll never see her again. But anyway, again, I forgot what I was even saying. Oh yeah, hurt feelings. Yeah, that would kind of hurt my feelings. But, you know, you can deal with it. But, I mean, like 2 months. It's not that she doesn't find you overpoweringly sexy. It's that she's probably never going to have sex with you. I mean, 2 months? 2 fucking months? 2 months? I mean, if you'd used an example like a month, I could wrap my head around that. You know, like, you know, maybe, you know, take some time for people to get comfortable. At 2 months, you can rest assured she's never going to have sex with you. I'm just saying.
So you call her frigid, and you tell her she's uptight, and you tell her that she's stuck up, and she gets upset because she thinks that you're going to break up with her, and you've just said these really hurtful, cruel things to her, and she says, yeah, you're okay, no, you're right, it's fine, it's okay, I don't care, let's have sex. Do you really think that she has truly consented, freely and under no pressure, to have sex with you?
Well, I don't remember you mentioning slipping her roofies or threatening her with violence or anything like that. So I'm going to say, yeah, by any kind of legal definition, she has given consent. You know, it's like somebody walks into a car lot, that salesman can use all sorts of sleazy emotional manipulations, but you can't, like, go to court and then say, oh, well, you know, this contract that I signed is null and void because this guy was persuasive and used my feelings against me. No. Adults make decisions, and then they are responsible for those decisions. The only time that's not really applicable is if threats of violence are used or they are on some sort of drug. So unless you're implying that women are just all addled in the brain at all times like they're on fucking drugs, then what you're saying is pure and utter horse shit. And really, here's the thing. It's not really manipulative to say, like, if you want to end the relationship because she's not having sex with you. People want different things out of relationships, and if you're not getting what you want out of a relationship, well, you do have the right to see if those concerns can be addressed, and if they can't, cut your losses and be on your merry way. Any other type of situation is just totally fucking unworkable.
Or do you think that you have bullied her and coerced her and manipulated her into doing something she didn't really want to do? Because that is rape, and that is the true danger of prude shaming, that people use it to rape other people.
You know, if I was a rape victim, I might get a little bit pissed off at people like you saying, oh yeah, somebody gets talked into sex persuasively, you know, they've been raped. I mean, I'd be like, you know, it's actually quite a bit worse than that, so why don't you shut your fucking trap? But I haven't been raped, so I don't really care. You have a nice day.